There, partners, I got a done their review for you with some rednecks. So what's going on, guys? I got a treat for you. This is a review of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So I don't know if you people out there in the interwebs are aware, but my favorite type of movie is the hybrid of horror and comedy. And I'm not talking about crap like, well, scary movies aren't crap, but I'm not talking about stuff like Scary Movie or garbage like Vampires Suck. I'm talking about, Evil Dead 2 and Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland. Like, these are some horror films that are also hilarious. And that's what this makes this such a great movie. And apart from a few problems that it had, I had a great time with this movie. Like, it was so fun. It was really refreshing to see something so original, like an idea of something that it's one of those movies you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? That's one of those ideas that should have been done 100 times by now. And I think after a few years go by, we'll see something that'll be sort of a copycat, if you will, of this movie. But apart from a few organizational problems that the movie had, this was great. So let's talk about the good first, shall we? We shall. So the story. Tucker and Dale, they these two rednecks, and they gon' go to their summer house out in them woods in West Virginia. And when they get there, they see them done college kids coming out, and they wants to have a good time and start partying. But what happens is, these guys are just trying to fix up, their summer house, which is just a shack in the woods, basically. And these kids, they see something happen. They end up getting a hold of this girl. They saved her. She got knocked out. And the friends of this girl think, oh my god, they captured our friend. They're going to kill her. And they ate her face and all this stuff. And in reality, these guys are just like, they just want to go fishing and drink some beer. And as they sit there, as they try to help this girl, these kids start trying to attack them, but they start killing themselves. And they're like, what's going on? And it's a horror film, or a slasher film, if you will, without the slasher. So, the main two guys in this, Tucker and Dale. Tucker, played by Alan Tudyk, who is known for his work on Firefly. Thumbs up, awesome show. And he played Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball. Double thumbs up for being awesome. He also was in Transformers this summer, playing the gay assistant of one of the guys in that movie. But yeah, so he gets a work in Hollywood. And Tyler Labine, who plays Dale, he's been on TV a few times. He's done, stuff here and there. But he was most recently in Planet of the Apes. He played the Doctor, who was really in charge of all of the stuff, and he's a pretty key character in the story. And also, he's in what just came out, A Good Old-Fashioned Orgy. So, yeah. So, those guys are getting work. So, they had great chemistry in this movie. Like, all their back and forths, they feel genuine, and that's thanks to a really well-written script that gives the feel of that generic horror film, because the characters move fast, and they're just jumping to conclusions, like immediately thinking that they are the killers, and it works because that's what happens in horror films. So like, they always like, just keep going on top of their ideas. They're like, yeah, that's what's happening. And I'm glad to see that this first-time director, Eli Craig, shows a lot of promise. And although there weren't really that many good, like, oh my god, that shot's amazing, or like, that looks really good, and that was well thought out. It looks like a cheesy horror film, and that's what it's supposed to look like, and it works for this. Although near the end of the movie there is some shots I was like, hey, that looks kind of Evil Dead-ish, in a way, just like those scenes they did in Shaun of the Dead, when they're like setting up, like when Shaun's like brushing his teeth and like scraping, the jam on his toast and stuff, like just like fast shots, kind of like that, like how in Evil Dead he sets up like the chainsaw in his hand, and it moves like has like a kind of thing, which was pretty cool. The kills, very clever in the movie. Some of them you don't see coming as much as others, but they'll leave you in tears because they are really, really funny. Now, I have to get to what I don't like about this movie, and this is important. If you want to watch this movie, which I really recommend, skip the first 2 minutes. And if you do this, trust me on this, skip the first 2 minutes, and then you watch the movie, and then you watch those first 2 minutes, you'll be like, oh, thank God I didn't watch that. That would have just made this movie so predictable. And it's one of those things that I don't know why they kept that in the film. The ending also was something that it felt rushed, like, because of that beginning, it alludes that something else is going to happen at the end, and it just left me a little bit confused. But other than the first 2 minutes and the last 30 seconds maybe or something, I really appreciate this movie, and I kind of loved it in a way. Something like this, like a really original idea, is just such a breath of fresh air that I can't see who I wouldn't recommend this movie to who likes any type of horror film. This is supposed to get released in theaters. I don't know when it was. I saw it was on demand. Everything else in theaters sucks right now. I wanted to see something good. I've been watching too much trash. This wasn't really damn good, but this was a damn good movie. And this is something that people should support because, there's those Smurfs and Transformers out there that you can go waste your money on. But movies like this is why you want to support the industry. Because if we don't support the people who are actually smart, doing a good job, we're just going to end up with tons of crap. And I don't know about you guys, I don't want that. And to do this, we just need to go ahead, watch your movies online, but make those movies Smurfs. Go out and see this movie in theaters. You'll be glad you did, I guarantee it. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to subscribe and, write comments and tell me how much I suck. Peace out, guys.